Have you ever believed that? To walk the spiritual path, you had to give up money. I see you. You're seeking consciousness, awakening to your highest self. But every day you're stressed about the bills. You help others heal. You pour your heart into serving humanity. But you don't dare charge what your gifts are truly worth. You tell yourself it's humility. You tell yourself that spiritual people shouldn't care about money, that wanting financial stability somehow makes you less enlightened. But what if I told you, this isn't humility at all? This is unconscious self-rejection. And it's keeping you small, keeping you struggling, and ultimately, keeping you from serving at your highest capacity. Because here's what nobody talks about in the spiritual community. Poverty is not virtue. Sometimes, it's just an unhealed wound. Today, we're going to explore the 3 hidden reasons why spiritual people struggle financially. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand something that might change everything about how you see money, spirituality, and your own worth. But first, we need to talk about what's really happening beneath the surface. The first hidden truth. Money isn't evil, but your memories about money. Those are what you're really afraid of. Think back to your childhood. What did you witness when money was involved? Maybe you saw your parents fighting over bills. Maybe you watched someone you loved change when they had more money, become greedy, distant, cold. Maybe you learned that good people don't have much, and having much means you've somehow lost your way. You're not afraid of money. You're afraid of becoming the person you saw when money was present. You made an unconscious vow. If I stay poor, I stay pure. But here's the truth that might sting a little. You're not rejecting money. You're rejecting becoming like the version of your parents you saw when they were stressed about money, or when they had it. The second hidden truth. Spiritual poverty is wounded virtue. Look around the spiritual community. The most gifted healers, the deepest teachers, the people carrying the most light. They're often living in financial darkness. Not because they chose simplicity, but because they're terrified of being seen as greedy. You're willing to help others heal their money wounds, but you won't allow yourself to live in abundance. You'll teach about self-worth, but you won't charge what you're worth. You'll talk about trusting the universe, but you won't trust that the universe wants to support you financially. This isn't enlightenment. This is forgetting your own value. And the tragic part? The world needs your gifts, but you can't serve from an empty cup. I've watched brilliant spiritual teachers burn out because they were so afraid of seeming materialistic that they gave everything away and kept nothing for themselves. I've seen healers who could transform lives struggle to pay rent because they thought charging for their gifts was somehow wrong. But what if the real spiritual bypass isn't wanting money? What if it's refusing to receive it? Because there's something even deeper happening here. Something that goes to the very core of how energy moves through your life. The third hidden truth. Money is energy, but you can only receive the level of energy you believe you deserve. The question isn't, how do I make money? The question is, how much do I believe I deserve to receive from the universe? If you teach about love, why are you living from fear? If you believe in abundance, why are you only surviving on miracles? Here's what I've discovered in my own journey. Every dollar that comes to you is a reflection of your inner relationship with worthiness. Not your relationship with money, your relationship with your own value. When you refuse payment for your gifts, you're not being humble. You're sending a message to the universe that says, I don't deserve support for the light I carry. But here's the soul code most people miss. When you don't receive, you break the flow. The universe gives through flow. Energy moves in circles, not straight lines. When someone offers you money for your wisdom, for your healing, for your gifts, and you refuse it or undervalue it, you're not just hurting yourself, you're stopping the energy from completing its circle. You say you want to serve, but service doesn't come from depletion. You want to help others heal their relationship with abundance, but you won't heal your own. You want to be a light in the world, but a lamp running out of oil cannot light anyone else. I want to tell you the saddest story I know. It's about enlightened souls who died in poverty. They left behind beautiful teachings, profound wisdom, but they also left behind financial burden for the people who loved them, because they thought having no money was noble, while their poverty became a weight that their families had to carry. Nobody benefits from your lack. Nobody gets enlightened because you're shrinking yourself into what you think humility looks like. What if I told you that your financial struggles aren't a spiritual test? What if they're just old programming that needs to be healed? What if receiving abundance doesn't corrupt your light, but amplifies it? Because here's what changes everything: permission. Permission to receive what you're truly worth. And I'm going to show you exactly how to give yourself that permission. The healing practice. Giving yourself permission to receive. First, I want you to write down 5 beliefs you currently hold about money. Just let them flow onto paper. Things like, money corrupts people, or spiritual people shouldn't want money, or if I have money, I'll lose my connection to God. Now, next to each belief, write down who taught you that. Was it your mother, your father, your religious community? Because here's the truth: those aren't your beliefs. They're inherited wounds. Second, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and say these words out loud. I am safe to receive. Feel what comes up. Notice the resistance. That resistance isn't protecting your spirituality. It's protecting old pain. Now say, abundance does not corrupt me. It amplifies the light I carry. The sacred intention. Aligning money with light. Here's what I want you to understand. You don't have to choose between money and meaning. You can set an intention that every dollar you receive will be used to feed your light, not your darkness. You can decide that financial abundance in your life will create more healing in the world, not less. That your prosperity will be a platform for your purpose, not a distraction from it. When I finally healed my relationship with money, something beautiful happened. I wasn't just able to pay my bills without stress. I was able to serve at a level I never could before. I could invest in my own healing, take care of my family, and create resources that help thousands of people. Your gifts are needed in this world, but gifts need resources to flourish. Your wisdom needs to be shared, but sharing requires stability. Your healing work needs to reach people, but that requires investment. You are not greedy for wanting more. You are not selfish for charging what you're worth. You are not less spiritual for desiring financial peace. You are waking up. You are remembering that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and human beings need both bread and light to thrive. And that brings me to the most important thing I want you to remember. You don't need to choose between money and spirituality. You are a soul living in a human body, and in this realm, both bread and light are necessary. If you've ever felt ashamed for wanting more, I invite you to come home to this truth. You're not greedy, you're awakening, and awakening also needs resources to live authentically. The world doesn't need another broke mystic. The world needs you, fully resourced, fully supported, and fully able to share your gifts without worry about how you're going to survive. If this resonated with you, if you felt something shift inside, let me know in the comments. And remember, you deserve to receive as much as you give. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You're exactly where you need to be.